Someone recently asked me about the colors we use in the front of the church on the altar and the pulpit, and so I thought I would spend a little time today talking about the church seasons and their colors. Hello, friends. Pastor Tim Twestermeyer here. Thanks for spending a little time to be with me today. This past Sunday, and I mentioned this in my sermon, we changed at the church what are called the paraments. That's the altar cloth, the cloth on the pulpit or the ambo, and the stole that the pastors wear. We changed them to a different color for a new season. It happens to be the color green right now, which prompted a question from someone who actually said, Tim, could you talk about that sometime in one of these podcasts? And so I don't know if this will be interesting to anyone or not, but I'm going to just walk us through the church year relatively quickly and mention the colors of the various seasons and sort of what their meaning is at a real high level. And if there are other questions, by the way, about anything we do during worship that are interesting, or I would even say confusing to people, certainly we are entering into the mystery of God's presence in worship, so I'm not sure everything has a concise or specific explanation, and that's okay, but we also want to avoid doing things that simply confuse or get in the way of understanding to the degree we can understand God. So I've talked about this before, but the church year, the Christian liturgical year, begins in Advent, not on January 1st, but sort of late November, early December. The color of Advent is blue. That suggests expectation. It's a little bit of a penitential season as well, a season when we sort of reflect on who we are as we anticipate the birth of Jesus. I will say there is a very special Sunday during the season of Advent, the third Sunday of Advent, called Gaudete Sunday, which is a Latin word that means joy. And to the degree that Advent is penitential, that third Sunday is a little bit of break from that to anticipate the joy of Jesus' birth. I will also say that is the one liturgical color, and Gaudete Sunday the color is rose, sort of a pinky color. That's the one Sunday that we don't actually have paraments for here at St. Philip the Deacon. We've thought about it before, but because they're only used on a single Sunday, we've never invested in them. If anyone is interested in helping us procure those, we're certainly open to that conversation. But anyway, the third weekend of Advent is Gaudete, otherwise it's blue. Then we move to the second season, that's Christmas. The color there is white. That signifies, let's see, where am I here? Purity and light or glory. It can also be gold, by the way, white or gold. Here our paraments are sort of a mix of both white and yellow and gold. Then we move to the season of Epiphany. That's the season between Christmas and Lent. It's sometimes called ordinary time, and there the color is green. The number of weeks changes from year to year depending on when Lent begins, but green suggests life and hope and anticipation. Epiphany is also about Christ being made known to all the nations, so there's this sense of light involved in that. From Epiphany, which again is green, we move to Lent. Lent is, again, it's a penitential season. It's a time when we reflect on our sinfulness, anticipating Jesus' great sacrifice for us. So the color there is purple. At the end of Lent, we move to Holy Week, and on Good Friday, which is the day we remember Jesus' death, the color is black. And so we've removed all of the paraments from the sanctuary on Maundy, Thursday, right before Good Friday, and when the pastors process in on Good Friday, again, it's the only day of the year when we wear black. It's a very bracing kind of symbol of the great sacrifice of Jesus' death for us. And then, of course, Easter Sunday, we move back to white or gold, which again has to do with purity and light and glory and joy. And that remains the color through the 50 days of Easter, all the way up to the festival of Pentecost, which concludes Easter. And that color is red, in part because of the story of Pentecost, where there are flames above the disciples' heads. So that the stained glass panel we have here at St. Philip the Deacon reminds us of that story. Pentecost is also a time when we remember the martyrs of the church, and so the blood that they gave. So Pentecost is red. Right after Pentecost is Holy Trinity. That's most of the festival days of the church year, which Holy Trinity is one of, are white. That's the color. And then we have just now, and I mentioned this again in Sunday's sermon, moved to what is sometimes called the long green season of the church year, or ordinary time, and that's green. So we've just moved to that. And again, it's a time of growth. It's a time of expectation. It's a time of giving. Jesus has given life to us, which suggests this green as a time for us now to grow, having heard the story of Jesus in the first half of the church year. The only other exceptions to all the colors I've mentioned, those are the main seasons, would be, again, festival Sundays would be white typically. In the Lutheran tradition, we have one festival. Festivals, by the way, would be Holy Trinity, All Saints, or Christ the King. Those are white. In the Lutheran tradition, though, we also have Reformation Sunday, unique to our tradition. That's always the very end of October when we commemorate Martin Luther's nailing the 95 Theses to the Castle Church door at Wittenberg, and that color is red. So that's a quick summary of the colors of the church year. Again, I don't know how interesting that is, but I will say to you that my wife Amy and I have 4 children. I've talked about that before. A number of years ago, when our youngest was probably, 4 or 5 years old, we happened to be at the church on a weekday, and we had just turned the colors of the pyramids over for a new church season. And Andrew is his name, walked in again. He's a little guy, and he walked into the sanctuary and he said, "It's blue," or whatever the color was. So even this little boy immediately recognized, oh, something has changed. We're now in a new moment. And I just guess whatever the meaning of the colors are, if nothing else, I hope they draw our attention to understanding time in a different way, rather than just one week after another, or only by the secular calendar, that we were reminded as Christians that we live in light of a different kind of calendar. And if the colors of the church year can help remind us that, even in a small way, I think that's a good thing. As always, thanks for spending a little time with me. Be well, stay in touch, and God bless.